Today's MOTUCfigures.com video spotlight is on Masters of the Universe Classics, Keldor. Here's your close-up view of Keldor before we take him over to the couch for the review. He includes two halves of the purple power sword. They go together to form one full purple power sword. Little acid vial there. And here's your close-up view of him from he's got sort of weak ankles, so let's hope he doesn't fall down. There he is from the front, the side, that awesome purple cape, and then back to the front. As you can see, he's quite different than the regular Skeletor, but we'll get more into that when we take him over to the couch and do the review.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another MOTUCfigures.com video spotlight. Man, it has been forever since we did one of these.
Since Keaton's birthday.
Since Ram Man, yeah. So it's been a long time. We don't actively collect the MOTUC figure line anymore, MOTUC Classics. If there's something we see that the kids want, Blaze or Keaton wants, I'll gladly pick it up.
I'll pick up, the only thing I'm really going to pick up is if they make a...
Keldor,
yeah.
I'm right there with you.
In the Spike
You got Spike
right
Gore. Yeah, you got that one. Keaton's back there. But, you know, we still have a lot of figures that we never did videos for.
Actually, I'd pick up a Blade, and what's like...
Sarad?
Yeah, Sarad.
I picked the movie guys.
I pick up the other guy up, though, the shorter one with, like, the weird hair.
Karg?
Yeah.
Well, the only three they can make are Blade, Sarad, and Keldor, because that's all they made in the vintage line. But it doesn't seem like they have any interest in making them, because they still haven't yet even one of them. They've touched every other incarnation of MOTU other than the movie stuff.
I want to buy that Karg or whatever anyway.
Karg?
He was my least favorite of the villains.
He was my least favorite of the villains,
He was
too.
still alright. I mean, it was a great movie.
I love the movie.
Yeah,
but
he didn't ruin the movie, but he was just kind of strange.
Yeah, he was a little strange.
Weird to look at.
Yeah. But like I was saying, we still have a lot of figures that we haven't covered that we still have. And so a lot of people have been saying, hey, watch your feet there, but have been saying, hey, when are you guys going to do another MOTU video? So we're like, hey, we got a little extra time this weekend. Let's do a MOTU video because we haven't done one in a while. So I had to go back and look and see which ones we hadn't done yet. And as you can see by the opening video, Keldor is one of the ones we haven't done yet. And I feel like I dropped something. And I did drop something. And I find it. Okay, so Keldor, who is the apprentice of Hordak. When this figure was first shown, I was super excited about it. Back in the 2000s line, they did a Keldor, and it was only at, I think, San Diego Comic-Con and Chicago Con. And I actually went to Chicago Con to get that Keldor figure. Because Keldor was a character who was introduced in the original mini-comics. They talked about him being Randor's brother, and there was hints that he turned into Skeletor. So as a kid, I knew who Keldor was. And then the 2000s cartoon came along and really fleshed out the Keldor character.
Did you like it when they showed
I did. I liked it a lot. They really fleshed him out. And then they did that exclusive. And I went to Chicago that year, and Jeremy Padower, who was the brand manager of the Mattel at the time, the 2000s line. I loved Jeremy Padower. Such a cool dude. We went to the show. Sorry if I'm going off on a tangent here. We went to the show, and it was like a lottery system where you had to get your number had to be picked for you to have an opportunity to buy Keldor. And so none of our numbers got picked, me and my friends that went. And so we're packing up our stuff, and it's the end of the show for the day. And we're just kind of near the Mattel booth. We're putting our stuff in our bags. And Jeremy was at the booth just hanging out. And like cleaning up stuff or something. And he was like, hey guys, how you doing? And I'm like, oh, doing good, man. It's nice to meet you, you know. And he's like, so you guys having a good show? And we're like, yeah. And he's like, you guys get Keldors? And we're like, no, we didn't get it today. And he's like, really? He's like, well, how far did you travel? I'm like, oh, we're from Ohio, and we made the trip over, and this is really what we're coming to the show for, is for this Keldor. So we're going to keep trying to look, man, and just hope for the best. And he sat there for a second, and he was like, you know what? Let's just do it. He's like, I'll open the computers back up. We'll let you guys each buy a Keldor. It was so awesome, and I was like, are you serious? And he was like, yeah, man, you guys made a big travel and stuff. There's nobody around right now. I mean, it's more of a crowd thing that we're doing to do this lottery system. Let's just do it. You guys can get your Keldors. And he was so nice and just kind, and you could tell he was there for the fans. It was really awesome. And it really kind of made the trip.
Did we have dinner with him at PowerCon? Was that him?
I don't think so.
Oh.
No,
Okay.
No, that
we
was...
did see him at
no, yeah, we talked to him, yeah.
Okay.
He remembered me. Like, I saw him at PowerCon in 2011 we went? 2011? We saw him there, and he remembered me, actually. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm solid from the boards, and he was like, yeah, I remember you from Chicago Con. And I was like, oh, my goodness, you know, it was crazy. Really just cool, dude. So anyway, so Keldor, you know, it was cool to have that figure, but that figure was just a Keldor head basically on a Skeletor body.
Right.
When that's not really what Keldor is. I understand why they had to do that back then, but Keldor is different than Skeletor. I mean, in that storyline, it changes him when he's bonded with the spirit, you know. He's sort of more of a normal guy. They call him a Gar now. They say he's a Gar and all that stuff. But he's sort of a normal guy with normal hands and, you know, sort of a normalish blue body. And so when this Keldor was shown, I was really excited about it because it had just standard boots, standard hands, kind of a debonair smile, all that stuff. I really dug it. And so I was really excited to have the figure.
I guess it's normal skin for Eternia.
Yeah, it's normal for them. It may be sad. He's just feeling really blue.
Sad that he's gonna have acid in his face.
Yeah, that's okay though. So it is different, like I was just saying, it's different than your standard Skeletor. He's got these style boots with like a regular actual boot instead of the feet coming out. He's got regular styled hands instead of sort of more like clawy type hands. His armor is totally different paint job than the standard Skeletor. The purple is a different purple than the standard release.
I like that.
He's got this silver bones with the red in the middle there. He comes with this awesome cape, which I thought was really, really cool. A lot of people were buying this just to get this cape and put it on, an extra one just to put it on Skeletor.
I wouldn't do that with it.
I think I did. I think I bought an extra one just to put a cape on Skeletor. But I understand what you're saying. I don't know if it comes off. You could pop off this head and take the cape off and put it on a Skeletor if you want. Other than that, I mean, it's a lot of the same parts you see throughout the line.
I did do that because I put my one head on.
Alcala?
Yeah, I put my Alcala head on.
I was just about to say, it's another cool figure to put an Alcala head on. You pop this off, and you put an Alcala head on. The purple isn't quite, for the Alcala head, isn't quite the same as the Keldor, but it still looks really, really cool. It's just a kind of a cool, almost reminds me of a movie Skeletor like this, with this cape and that head.
I was just about to say the same thing, and it makes me wish they had the right to do all like the movie style.
I do too. Hey, Bo, you stop with the styrofoam back there?
Sorry.
Thank you.
I'd like them to make an actual movie Skeletor.
I would love that too, but they don't have the rights right now. Okay, so the figure overall, really awesome. Now we'll get on to his accessories. He comes with, he comes with the little green vial thing that he used in the 2000X cartoon. It's molded in sort of a clearish green plastic and has like purple painted details all around it. This is an easily lost accessory. You can put it into his hand and keep it there all the time.
Didn't do that.
Didn't do that.
Kim lost his on the first day, but we ended up finding it.
That's okay. And then as far as the double swords, now the double swords from the show were originally, in the concept of the 2000s cartoon, meant to be both halves of the power sword. And that's why one half is like the bat motif and one half is the eagle motif, and Skeletor's got both halves. That was the original idea. So in MOTU Classics, since they were saying they were MOTUCizing everything, their solution to that was just to include two halves of purple that go together. I think that's kind of cheaping out a little bit. I really didn't like that when it happened.
That's why they made a half He-Man sword too for the fans that want to. Well, that's probably not the reason they did it.
Yeah, but either way, it just felt kind of cheap to do that. Right. They eventually went back and did the 2000X sword in one of the weapons packs.
Which you gave me an extra one.
Yeah, well, originally at the show it was a fused version, and that's the one you've got that doesn't come apart.
Is that the one?
This is a fused version, yeah. And then they did one in the pack that actually came apart.
Right.
But if you wanted that 2000X sword, now you have that option.
Right.
Back when this figure first came out, though, you didn't, and that wasn't that cool.
No.
All right, so let's read the bio. Keldor, Apprentice of Hordak. Real name, Keldor of the House of Miro. Banished from the royal palace, in part due to distrust of the rare blue-skinned Gar race, Prince Keldor became an outcast. He traveled Eternia seeking knowledge and guidance, eventually discovering the ancient spirit of Hordak. From him, Keldor learned of the dark arts and came to realize that to truly unite Eternia, he would need to take command of the planet himself. He gathered an army of fellow outcasts and led in the battle against his brother Captain Randor. Eventually defeated and near death, Keldor once again turned to Hordak, who in exchange for his own freedom, agreed to save Keldor's life by merging him with Demo Man, twisting Keldor into Skeletor, Lord of Destruction.
Did they mention that was Demo Man in the 2000 cartoon?
No, they did not.
Okay.
I am not a huge fan of where they're going here, because it kind of makes, and we've talked about this before, it makes makes Skeletor into more a sympathetic villain instead of just an evil guy.
Right.
When you're talking about how, his race was mistrusted and he was banished and he, he was trying to unite the whole planet and, then he got twisted by this Demo Man spirit and all these different things. I don't like any of that. I like him being the evil guy that wants the power gets into a fight with Randor, has himself messed up, and then goes back to Hordak again. I like that they're trying to work in him being an apprentice of Hordak without actually having Hordak be there. But all this stuff about him trying to unite Eternia and all that stuff, I just don't like that. I don't like making Skeletor or Keldor into a sympathetic character.
Right.
I like that the whole trying to tie in the Icons of Evil MVP comic stuff. MVP. MVC. I don't know what I'm saying. MVP. I like all that. That's cool, but no sad Skeletor. Overall, Keldor is one of...
That's why he's blue. That's why he's so sad.
He's so sad about his Gar race and how Eternia's not united. Overall, Keldor is one of my favorite figures in the line, I think. He's just a really, really cool guy to have on your shelf. I love the color of his blue. Seems brighter than Skeletor's. The look at his face, the cape, everything about him is just a really cool looking figure. And this one shows up all the time. You can still get him around original retail. Definitely worth a pickup. Cool figure. As always, if you hit the info section, if you're watching this video on YouTube, there'll be a link to pictures on MOTUCfigures.com of this figure, so you can get a better look at him and decide if he's worth your dollars.
I think my favorite of the He-Man guys is Vicor and Demo Man, maybe?
Vicor's awesome. Demo Man is awesome.
They're
both super cool. Alright, so we're going to sign off on this one, and good journey.
Good journey.
That's what we said on these, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys next time, and good journey.
Good journey.